Greetings, world. Arionne Hoskins here. You are obviously watching this from my webpage, so welcome. If you haven't browsed around, feel free to do so. Navigation's on the side, one of these sides. But I wanted to fill everybody in. I know I haven't written anything since March, which is a very long time from the end of August. So, since March, the last thing I wrote about was my site visit. And since site visit, of course, I've moved. I've sworn in, so I'm an official Peace Corps volunteer. I've been at site for about 3.5, almost 4 months. So, I guess this is just kind of the settling in part, because the first 3 months are supposed to be the part where you integrate, you meet people, you get out, you kind of figure what you're doing in your community, and then the next 3 to 6 months is where you kind of get down to the nitty-gritty, where you're supposed to figure out what projects that your community wants you to do, and how you're going to kind of navigate those. So the first 3 months we're getting to know, kind of getting a feel for the community, and now we're kind of getting to work. So I get plenty of questions here in Guyana, and there are tons of things that are different from what I'm used to in the United States. Some things that are similar, some things that you just kind of look at and go, some things that you just never really necessarily experienced in life. And as you can see, this is not my house, by the way. This is Becca's. You're going to meet her in a minute. Right now, she's over there making, what you making, Becca?
Tortillas.
Becca's making tortillas. And Becca was so gracious to let me come over and bum her Wi-Fi. It sounds crazy, but it's a thing, because, I have Wi-Fi, but it's just slow as heck. So I can't really do videos and things like that. So you might see me in Becca's house doing videos. You might see me in town, which is Georgetown, which is the capital of Guyana. There's a lot more progression in town, so to speak. And so let me tell you a little bit about where we are, and then I'll kind of go into what's happening, what I've experienced, things I've done. And then if y'all want to throw questions my way that you want me to pick up on the next one, because I think I want to do these as video vlogs now, because I think these are more personable. And also, sometimes I just don't know what to write. So, things to say, got a lot of that. Alright, so, where I am is a place called New Amsterdam. It is the arguably second largest town, right after Georgetown, which is the capital. Another place that will kind of claim that they're the second is Linden. Shout out to all my Linders. Hey Brianna, hey Jeff, hey Kim, hey Chelsea. Who else out there? Think Caitlin. That's everybody, right? 26ers left, so that should be everybody that's out there right now. Unless you're a response volunteer, I don't necessarily know you, sorry. But, yeah, so live in New Amsterdam. It's a pretty busy town. And I say town because they don't have cities here. It's small. Like, if I walk from one end of town to the other end, I'll probably see about 5 people that I know. Like, think about the smallest place that you've ever lived, and that's pretty much this. Unless you lived in a place with like 12 people, it ain't this. But yeah, New Amsterdam is pretty well equipped. They've got a hospital, they've got their own police station, fire department, got several supermarkets, there is a fast food restaurant, yes. There is a Church's, but Church's is very expensive on the budget that we get. So we don't eat at Church's all the time, although I ate at Church's today. Don't judge me. But most of the places are really kind of mom and pop shops. They're locally owned. People live above where they work, so it's kind of like America, but back not in the 50s, more like the 40s-ish. where everybody lived above where they worked. So it's very, very similar out here. Even if you own a bar, you probably live behind the bar. They own the hotel, they live behind the hotel. Like whatever the business is, they live in or around that business on the same property. Makes sense because, you know, property tax breaks, you know, you live close to work, anything happens, right there. Makes sense. But that's pretty much the area I'm living in. Some people in my group, they live in what we call hinterlands, which are way, 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 way out in Never Never Land, where we can't really get a hold of them unless they climb to the top of a mountain to get a cell signal. I'm happy that that's not the case here. All I gotta do is come to Becca's. Yeah. And she's only like 10, 15 minutes away from me, which is great. I will put up pictures and videos of the side of town that I live on, things that I see, pictures of my school. Like I said, I've just been, it's been a whirlwind. I can't even say sorry that I haven't updated y'all, because I've been wanting to do this so bad, but here it is. Here we are. So now that you kind of know where I am, what's been happening, all those things, I'll kind of give you the lowdown, dirty, gritty of, you know, Guyana. All these things popping up. It's still recording. Whatever. Okay, so weird things that I see in Guyana. Animals walking in the middle of the road. Major roads. Like, if you walk down the main street, you might see a herd of cows. Normal. You just slow down, you put on your hazard lights, and you go around them when you can. Also normal things that you see all the time. People carrying large, like, bags, like huge 10-pound bags of rice and stuff. They'll set it in between their legs on a bike and go pedaling. That's something I'm not very much used to. Okay, sorry, this thing keeps popping up. That's not something I'm used to seeing back in the States. We usually put them in the back of trucks or the back of your car, whatever. Other things that aren't that I'm not quite used to. I'm not quite used to the heat. It's not that the heat is quite unbearable, but it's very, very hot. It's a big difference living in Austin, Texas, where there's dry heat, to Guyana, where it's like very humid, very wet, very moist. Yes, I lived in New Orleans and Houston, but this is a different kind of heat. Like, this heat, it almost like grabs you and hugs you and won't let you go. And every time you walk outside, you sweat. Like, we shower here about 2-3 times a day. Not 2 is not excessive. 3, and then sometimes even 4. Depends on how often you go outside the house. Depends on if you have your fan on. Depends on if you have your door open. By the way, no, people, I do not have air conditioning. If you look up here, houses and things, they have a design to keep it aerated so that you are not extremely hot. And then they also know how to live without a lot of breeze or AC. It's not something I'm used to. And Becca, you used to it yet? No. Becca's not used to it yet either. So this is our air conditioner. Bam. I don't even know why it's turned that way. Hey. Yes. Put it on the cook because she's making stuff back there. But so those are some of the weird things I'm still uncomfortable with. Anybody that knows me knows I am not a fan of bugs. There are some weird bugs out here. Of course, there's roaches. Okay. There's these things called well, there's these things called mole crickets, and they are these weird. Well, she with her bum. They're these weird.
Sorry. Oh God. I didn't know I was in the shot.
They're these weird little fleshy bugs that have like diggers in the front, and they burrow through things, and so like they also fly. And they are the weirdest looking bugs I've ever seen. Look it up. Mole crickets. MOLE. And the word's crickets. If you don't know how to spell crickets, Google will correct you. Okay, anyways, so mole crickets plague me. I don't know if it's their season or what, but they fly and they're around. Roaches I don't like. Also lizards. Lizards, I usually leave them. Like you'll see little critters in your house all the time. Lizards, I don't really bother them. I don't bother lizards and spiders. Spiders, I know it's surprising. My family's gonna be like, "What? Ari, you don't touch the spiders?" Not unless they're on the floor or they're like threatening my life, hanging. I don't mess with spiders, but usually the spiders will eat the mosquitoes. Which mosquitoes, at first, they would tear me up when I first got in country. You probably read that in my blog, but they would tear me up. But the reason why I don't really bother with them that much is because they don't really come in my house that often anymore. And that's because I leave the lizards, I leave the spiders because they eat them, which is wonderful. But it sucks whenever lizards are pooping all over your house because you'll find little black streaks of poop all over. And I've actually had a lizard poop on me. It was wonderful. They said it was good luck. I don't believe them, but whatever. So yeah, lizards, sometimes they join you in the shower, sometimes they're above your head, walking along the walls. You get used to it. Now, the one thing I do not think I will ever get used to are the little jumpy frogs. They come whenever it rains. They get flushed inside, and they hide in your sinks. They hide underneath your cabinets. They hide in little dark crevices. They hide in the corners. And then whenever you're not expecting, they jump out. And so if you ever see this picture, I'm going to post it later. There was a frog that jumped out at me in the shower. Startled the crap out of me. And I fell down. So that's that story. Don't judge me. I wasn't ready for the frog to jump. Okay, anyways, those are really the things that I've experienced. I know that a lot of people in my group, in my area, have experienced mosquito-borne illnesses. They're not any joke. It's not something to play with. It's serious. Like, people are really coming up. There's things called dengue fever. There's also chikungunya. Sounds funny, but it's not funny. Zika. About how many people? 7 people? 7 people in this area alone got Zika. Not this area?
No, I think it's 7 volunteers.
No, it's 9 volunteers total.
Okay.
9 volunteers total.
There's a lot in this area.
Majority are from the area where I live. So you pray, keep your hands over me and my friend Becca here, because we ain't been touched by the bad. Okay, I won't say it. Okay. Okay. Well, yeah, those things are serious, and I actually have a couple of friends that have experienced it, and they said it is some of the worst pain that you could ever go through. Stomach and, joints, throwing up, feeling bad. Maybe I'll get them to come and speak. Maybe they don't want to relive it. We'll see. But those are really some of the things. I know my friends ask me questions like that. Those are really some of the points and things that I wanted to aim for. I have some projects coming up. I'm not going to speak too much about them just because I want to get them done before I brag on them. But definitely, I'm proud to say that Becca successfully built a playground for her school. I'm working on, that's one that I want to do. But like I said, we'll talk about those when they come around. But I also wanted to bring Becca around to give us kind of a lowdown on what's been going on with her, giving her perspective, how she feels about Peace Corps. It's not all bells and whistles and happy songs. Yes, we have good days. Yes, we have bad days. But in the end, it's just really how you make it. So that's my perspective, and I want Becca to give you hers. So, Becca, come on down. She's going to get the chair. I'm going to go cook for her.
Hi, Becca. I think that one's all ready. Okay. Hi, everybody. Ari's taking over for me. I'm a little nervous. I don't want her to burn my tortillas. My first time making tortillas. Okay, well, anyway, I'm Becca. Hi. This is my house. Welcome. Originally from Nashville, Tennessee. So, yay, hi. So I guess I'm supposed to tell you about New Amsterdam and like my experience. My experience has been fine. I love where I live. I love my school. The kids are great. I get along with my counterparts. I think like the toughest thing to get used to is the cat calling on the street. So I have to mentally prepare myself every time I leave the house to get called white girl or snowflake or snow bunny or looking good, whatever, you know. So you have to kind of ignore it or be like, beat them to the punch, kind of. So that's the biggest thing. Let's see. I am in education here. Just like Ari, I was a teacher back home. So that's good. I do teach music, so I am trying to get some music here. I might rope Ari into helping me with that too. So we are going to have to, try to look at that because that's not around a lot here. The creativity. We were talking earlier that here there's not a lot of room for creativity or just any kind of like thinking outside the box. So when you ask them to draw a picture about this story, they have no idea what to even do, and they kind of freak out. So hopefully, like in the long run, we can teach them to, or expand their minds, because they don't have a lot of room for that in the classroom. They're not able to. There's no time for that. They're on a strict timetable in all the classrooms, so they just go do, and they're done, instead of taking the time to explore other avenues. So hopefully, we can start doing that as well. What else do I need to say? Camp. I worked during his camp. It was fantastic. Everybody learned how to read a treble staff, so that was lovely. We played lots of games. We also had water balloons.
You'd be surprised how many kids come up to me and like, oh my God, Miss Becca, tell her I love this, this, and this. And they'll tell me how much they love the music part. They love, like, it was different levels of camp. I'll talk about it when I come back.
Thanks, Barry. So I just, we played lots of games. There was also lots of the water balloon fights at the end of the camp, which is fabulous. But I thought it was really good. I thought there were a lot of kids there, and I think they really took off. There was an art class. Well, she's going to talk about that. I thought it went really well, and glad I was able to be a part of it. And that's like only the second time since we've been here that I've been able to really teach music, so that was kind of nice.
We're going to get some more opportunities.
Yeah, we're going to get more opportunities. Funny story. Should I tell a story about today?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so funny story. We were, first of all, drinking is like, men do it more than women here, and they do it no matter what time of day it is. So Ari and I were walking home probably at like 3 in the afternoon or 2 in the afternoon, whatever, after going to some shops, and we're coming down my street right out here, and we see this guy just fall off his bike, and he's just laying there. He just fell, and there he was. So we were like, oh God. And so, Ari's like, should we check on him? I'm like, yeah, I think so. Let's put, we put our stuff down, and luckily and he was just laying there. Some guy got there before us and got to him, and we got his bike up, and somebody else stopped, which is not normal. People don't normally stop to help people. So that was awesome. But we got there, and he was being helped up by these 2 other gentlemen, only to find out that he was totally sauced. And so that's why he fell off his bike, because he couldn't keep his balance. And then he just laid there. He could barely speak. And we're just like, all right, well, we walked over here. So we came back to the house and then just kind of watched him trying to get back on his bike. So that happened today. I think that's really all I had to say. I don't really. Yeah, I know. I'm not really good at this, so I'm sorry. But nice to talk to you. Bye.
She gonna get better. Also, things that Becca didn't tell you, she is one of our workout. I want to say gurus, but she's the person that basically runs a boot camp. There was a previous volunteer was in Guy 26. Her name was Lindsay, and she actually used to live right here. So they were kind of like house sisters or whatever. They were like, "Oh my God, we live together, yay!" And they worked out together and all that stuff. So
talk like that.
oh. So they don't talk like that, but that was my interpretation. That was my interpretation, but okay. Anyways, so yeah, they lived together, and so Lindsay kind of gave over the ropes, and also there was another girl, Marcella. She went home too, and so they kind of gave the ropes to us. We hopefully can pass it on to not another set of volunteers, but another set of Guyanese people. The whole point of our program in Peace Corps is we set up a foundation. We set up a program, we set up, kind of guidelines and give them the tools in order to govern themselves and continue and build up. You don't want to be the person that keeps coming in and fixing the problem only to know that it's not fixed. It was just temporarily bandaged because Peace Corps is here. And then once this Peace Corps leaves, then we need another Peace Corps to come and fix it. No. So hopefully we can get enough of our women involved, because it's mainly women that come to the class. Maybe a guy comes once. No, never a guy?
I don't know.
Never seen a guy. All right. But hopefully we can get the ladies on board. If they're watching, hey ladies, we calling you out. Come get on board. But the point of Peace Corps truly is to come down, see the problem, work with the community, help them come to a solution, and then give them the tools to fix it. Because I can't do it for you. Perfect example. My HM had a project, and she picked a room out of the classroom, out of all the classrooms in the school, and basically it was a trash can. It looked terrible. People threw their old garbage and everything in there, and had mountains of books. When I say mountains, I mean mountains, like sitting up this high from the ground. And she came in and she cleaned it out. When I say she had help, of course. Cleaned it out, painted the walls, did the floors, put all kinds of aids in there, and now it is called a reading room. And the kids love it. They want to go in there all the time. And they just, the morale of the school picked up just that much from one thing that she did. So I looked at it, and I saw all the other teachers wanting to take their classes in there. They're like, ooh, can we use your room? Can that be my room? Can this? And so I sat and I talked to my HM. I said, this could be their room, but not this room, but we could do all their rooms. So we sat down with them and asked them, as a whole, as a faculty, as staff, what would you like for your school to look like next year? And so I proposed a classroom beautification project. Asked them if they really wanted to. I would draw up the letter. I would draw up donation sheets, and I would also, drum up some interest, and it would be up to them to raise the monies and ask for the things that we needed. And these women, because I have all women teachers at my school, these women did an amazing job. They came in this summer. It's their summer holiday. Nobody wants to come into work on the summer. And they transformed their rooms, painted the walls, painted the floors, painted their furniture, because it used to be, oh, that bench is mine, it goes in my room. Now they're color distinctive so that they know whose goes where. But these kids, when they come into school, we're coming back next week, when they come into school, they're going to see this classroom and they're going to be amazed. And little things like that are what I feel like Peace Corps is about. It's not a huge thing. We painted a classroom, but at the same time, it's going to make a big difference. And so when I say I don't want to brag about projects, that's when I want to be able to give you these progress reports, not necessarily what I'm going to do, but what we have done. And I'll tell you, I didn't touch a paintbrush. I didn't pick it up. I didn't do anything. All I did was give them the tools to do it. I asked them, did they think this was a good idea? They said yes. Is this something that you need? They said yes. I said, awesome. Here's what I'm going to do. Wrote up the letter. They asked me, they were like, hey, can you give me another letter? I have more interest. Brought me back the letter. And it was so amazing. I have so many more stories I want to tell y'all, but this is getting long. And I know people probably don't want to watch a video past 25 minutes of talking. But until next time, I will see you all.